Hello, everybody, and welcome back into Hotsport. This is your weekly under pressure video segment, whatever you want to call it. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're subscribing to Hotsport ahead of what is, again, another very exciting weekend of Premier League action. And by the way, last week I gave you slack for, not sending me any emails. And guess what? I got to big up Bart, who is a Chelsea fan. Now, I'm not the biggest, biggest friend of Chelsea, as many people know here. But I commend Bart. He knows the power of the list. Like we had David on here last week. He saw the power of the list this weekend. I told him that Man United would win because other pressure lists. So, Bart has decided to come in and tap into that power. So before we begin, the list and reveal to you the list, I thought I would again read to you the fan mail that I got today. So it says, "Hi Anton, Bart here, proud Chelsea fan, reigning world champion supporter, and currently typing this email with 20 minutes left in the game against Man United. I can barely see the screen through the tears of disbelief. How are we not beating United? We're the world champions. By definition, that makes us the best team on earth. Bayern got a fluky win. Okay. United shouldn't even be on the same pitch. We've got the best squad, the best history, the best vibes, and yet somehow we're the ones sweating it out against Scott McTominay like it's a Champions League final." Now, Scott McTominay does not play for Manchester United, my friend. He now plays for Napoli. Just, by the way, I always get into this habit of correcting people. And, and you've come to me again. You've answered my call. You sent me emails. I've been spoiled. Recently. Anyway, we'll continue. "I generally can't take the embarrassment of losing to United. Of all teams, I would be able to accept losing to Madrid barely, but United? No. My group chat is already loading up the memes. And don't get me started on the ref. Sending off Robert Sanchez? Are you kidding me? It's blatant match fixing. The officials hate Chelsea. It's been obvious for years. First they accuse us of cheating. Now they're threatening to strip us of our well-deserved trophies. And tonight, they're basically playing for United. I wouldn't be surprised if the fourth official was wearing a retro Cantona shirt under his jacket. I'm writing to you because I need your platform to help spread awareness of this injustice. The league is clearly conspiring against us. It's only logical explanation, because if it's not a conspiracy, then that means our £1 billion squad just isn't good enough. And that, my friend, is simply not true. Love the show, honestly. You're a voice of reason in a world that refuses to respect Chelsea greatness. Please do something. Fix this. Get us playing the way world champions should be playing. Up the Blues and down with corrupt refs. Bart, proper Chelsea." Look, Bart, by the way, love the support for the show. I love that you sent me an email. I will, I do take these requests seriously. So, yeah, I'll definitely take this suggestion into account. Now, in terms of, I hate to be the one to do this to you. I really hate to be the one to do this to you. But in terms of getting people to realize that you are the best team in the world, is that what he said? Refuse, yeah, okay. They refuse to. What greatness! I hate to say this to you, bruv, but winning the Club World Cup does not make you the best team in the world. Like last year, you were competing in the Conference League. Like this is your first year back in the Champions League for years now. So, oh my God, one Club World Cup against Brazilian sides, and they beat PSG in the final, but all of a sudden, like, you're setting yourself up for failure, guys, for disappointment. It's time to get your priorities in line. You're not the best team in the world, and you don't have the best players in the world. Anyway, thank you so much for the email. Let's get into this segment this week. And of course, you know this one. It's the one and only. It's our Under Pressure segment. So we are in, as I say every week, to the Under Pressure segment, to the list. As we do every week, we will give you one manager, one player, and one club that is under pressure coming into this match week, which is match week 6. And again, I'd like to remind everybody to hit the like button, subscribe. We are now over 550 subscriptions now, so 450 away from the that 1K mark. So we're looking to build and get to that point. So I'm grateful for all 554 of you so far that are subscribed. I'm looking for some more. I'm looking for some more, guys. I'm just a man who's starting to try to rise in this business, and it helps me get these videos out there, makes them more viewable, makes them, makes this community grow. So it only takes half a second. Just hit the like button, guys. It means so much. Let's get into this one. And the manager is one that's, this is a hard one for me to do, but even I am starting to get a little bit frustrated. And that, of course, is Mikel Arteta. Now, Mikel, I'm just going to tell you this as a friend, because I am one of your staunchest supporters. I have your back, and I will maintain to have your back. I will come up with every possible justification for every time that you don't fully achieve what you should be achieving. And I think a lot of the criticism coming your way is unfair. But you have to understand that this season is the season for you. This football club is talented and contracted. William Saliba is now going to be here for another 5 years. Saka is probably following suit not long after. So this very talented core is going to be about here for a long time. It's not about them. It's about you, the man who took us from banter to challenging year on year. You took us to the Champions League semi-final. You took us to finally, going toe-to-toe with the greatest teams in the world. And I thank you for that. But I have a question. Why do you keep starting Mikel Merino in midfield? Why do you think that's your best midfield? Last week, what is your issue with playing number 10s at number 10? Like, is the only number 10 that you're comfortable with Martin Odegaard? Like, we have Eberechi Eze, who is, one of the best 10s in the league. One of the best players in the league, who we spent a lot of money on, and you couldn't start him against Man City. By the way, the same Man City that he led to victory, led to beat in the final of the FA Cup, who's got a great record against them. And you saw the difference when you brought him on in the second half. Now, I'm going to, at this point in recording, I've yet to see your lineup against Newcastle. But I really hope you learned from that. Like, this team is the most talented team, the deepest squad. And I get it, it's a luxury, and that means you have so many options and you're spoiled for choice. It's like a guy who's, trying to order on Uber Eats, and he's got so many restaurants to pick from, and sometimes he picks the wrong meal. I get it. We've been there. I do. But Mikel Arteta, you can't eat, like, these press conferences as well. I get it, man. You're a prideful man, and you stick by your decisions, and you stick by your players, and you don't want to throw your players under the bus. I understand. And Mikel Merino, his name is Mikel. I get it. You share a name. He's basically your child. But he's not cutting it. We're not creating anything. We played against Man City where we should have smashed them. We should have beaten Liverpool on their patch, but both times you came out and you played a lineup that said, I can't even Can't even deny it. It said that you're afraid, that you respect them too much. Mikel, it's time to wake up to realize that now we're the big fish. We are the team that has got so much talent. Tap into it now before it comes too late. We need to win this weekend against Newcastle. And it's that point in the season where like either we're feeling really good about ourselves after 6 games, being on 13 out of 18 points, given that we played 4 of the big 6 in our opening 6. But in the other way around, if you continue to stick to this and somehow we're dropping more points, we could be behind between 7 and 8 points behind Liverpool already after 6 matches. The 5 I can deal with, right? I will, if we win this, justify and say, you know what? Our schedule is so tough, and yet, we're in the best position. Look how our schedule opens up for us. That's will be my thing. But, bro, help me help you. Please. Can we start our best players? Can we give Victor Gyökeres the correct supply line, please? I'm so sick and tired of having no creativity in midfield, bro. And we have Odegaard, Eze, and Ethan. Like Ethan, when Odegaard came off both times and you had to put Ethan in the game, dude stepped in there and made us look better. Why are you seeing that I'm not seeing? Time to fix up, Mikel. I promise, bruv. My manager, okay? It hurts that I put you on this list, but at the same time, I mean this more than I say than anybody else, bro. This list is here to provide encouragement, and I need to encourage you before it's too late. I want you to be the man that takes us over the line. I know that you can do it. Do not make me look like a fool. I'm with you as long as I can be with you. But there's only a certain point that I can follow you until. So, bro, maybe just take a bit of humble pie. I know last year Erling Haaland said, be humble. And realize, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to bring back the Arsenal from a couple years ago. And it doesn't mean that we have to go gung-ho and, run the tank empty early on. No. But in certain games, yes. I had your back in the Port Vale. I thought the criticism for Port Vale was ridiculous. Like, we don't need to empty the tank against a team in Division 1. Absolutely. League 1, whatever it is. But, Mikel, come on. Let's get the 3 points this weekend in St. James's Park. We lost to that team 3 times this year. The pressure is on you, my friend. It is. I hate to say it. Like, I've been on podcasts with some of the most positive Arsenal fans. I even saw positive Dan say you're under pressure, bro. I even see positive Dan confused by your lineup. Time to fix up. Learn. Mistakes are there to learn from, isn't it? That's all I'll say. And moving on now to the player who is under pressure for me. And, hey, it's 3 weeks running. And yet again, it is Alexander Isak. And I feel everyone's going to be like, what? He scored in the Carabao Cup, bruv. That was a gift. I said that in the tears. It was a gift. And it was in the Carabao Cup against Southampton. And, dude, he was anonymous when he came on last week against Everton. I'm not forgetting that. £130 million. Supposedly the best striker in the world. The best striker in the world, by the way, I've got information for you, plays for Manchester City. And the other one plays in North London because he won the Gerd Muller Award. Big up Victor Gyökeres. I had to get that in there. At the moment, you're not even the best striker in Sweden. Living off of a reputation, literally. £130 million. And no one is saying the same stuff that I am. Oh, he'll come good. I'm not going to bet against Alexander Isak. Well, why didn't you say that about Victor? Again, Alexander Isak, the pressure is on you even now more this week. You know why? Because your teammate is an idiot. He's an idiot, and he's a bit of a narcissist. Let me get that right. I mean, he pulled off his shirt after like a tap-in to beat Championship Southampton relegated last year from the Premier League, and held up a shirt that said Ekitike. Like, if you held up a shirt that said Jota, yeah, whatever. But then he gets booked. He's already on a yellow, and he's taken off his shirt, and now he's suspended, which means there is no place for you to hide, Alexander. You are going to get 90 minutes this week, I believe. Away at Crystal Palace. You know what? You had your vacation. You had your holdout. You got your dream move. You had your chance to bed in. Like, seriously, I am the only person. David, one here last week, was surprised. I'm the only person who is like realizing everyone else is so inconsistent in their takes. And I don't mean anything personally against you. Like, honestly, I think you're a great player. That's why I was worried about Liverpool acquiring you in the first place. But if people are going to hold that energy to other people, it's got to stay the same. It can't be moving the goalpost because, of the team that you play for or your name or because people like you. Bro, you got your move in the wrong way. It was very distasteful. But now you got it, and they paid a lot of money for it. So, let's see. Apparently, that's going to get you up and running. Apparently, that's going to fill you with confidence. Well, Liverpool have been perfect without you, bruv. I'm just going to say, 7 wins this season. No defeats, no draws in all comps. Now, granted, the 7th one, they had you in it and you scored. So, but the other ones, let's see. Hugo Ekitike has been playing very well, despite his nonsense. So, Alexander, time has run out on the hourglass, sand, whatever you call that thing. It's time to be Alexander Isak. How many weeks are you going to stay on this list? How many weeks are you going to allow me to dig in on you like this every single week? At the moment, you have less Premier League goals than Nick Woltermod, who replaced you at Newcastle. You have 3 less Premier League goals than Victor Gyökeres, your national teammate, who apparently is flopping. And you have got 5 less league goals than the real best striker in the world. In fact, I can name you like 20 to 30 players who have more Premier League goals than you this season. And you're supposed to be the most expensive player in the history of the English game. Alexander Isak. Are we going to be here next week? I'm telling you, bruv. Carabao Cup goals, gifts do not get you out of trouble. UCL coming up next week, we'll talk. But I've literally run out of words because I've been speaking about the same points for 3 weeks on. Are we going to make it a month? Let's see. Finally, and by the way, I like to go back to the beginning of the show when I read off the letter from Bart, the Chelsea fan, and I have granted you your wish. Now, it's begrudgingly because I enjoy watching Chelsea pain. I enjoy watching you guys, taste the bittersweet taste of reality. But yeah, I put you on the list. I put you on the list, and yes, it's time. The world champions, apparently, allegedly. Can I read off their results this season? Because, by the way, I need to underline this. They have had one of the easiest schedules. Now I have a full ranking that I do because I do it for the tiers. Strength of schedule. This is going to magnify the point and drive it home even further, right? Chelsea have had the 19th hardest schedule, so the second easiest schedule in the Premier League through the first 5 games. Right? Inside that period, they have got 2 victories, right? One was away at West Ham. The other one was a home against Fulham. They've drawn with Palace. They've drawn with Brentford. And they lost Man United. Now, you could say, oh, there are 10 men. There were 10 men. But what Bart forgot to tell you is that Casemiro leveled the playing field when he got sent off. So you had an entire second half of being the best team in the world to try to beat Man United, who've been struggling against everybody, who were in your place on this list last week. Cole Palmer is now out, guys. Now, you guys play pretty well without Cole Palmer. But the schedule is going to get trickier. Now, I think that you guys should be able to do well and beat Brighton, which is why I've, kind of given you this point to get into gear. But guess who comes to town after that? The man sitting to your right. Liverpool FC, 15 from 15, the defending champions. One warm-up game, one game to give Flip the confidence. And by the way, Brighton have been favorite slayers this year. They've slayed players who I have higher than you in my tiers. Teams who have a higher you in my tiers. But you have the advantage of being at home. You also have great familiarity with these players. Like half of them basically used to play for Brighton. Your players. Is it time for Maresca out? Is that what we're going to be going here? I heard people who criticized Maresca for not bringing on Garnacho. Like, guys, I thought that I heard a Chelsea fan tell me that they were going to win the league, and he was sincerely confident about that. 74 charges, by the way. And for those, I respect you, Bart. I do. I respect you for the main reason that you sent me a letter and I mean an email, and nobody else did since the international break, really. And I have to say, your history, you're a great history. No one has a history like you, and they're wanting to take it away from you. Perhaps self-reported means nothing to me. Okay, Todd Bowley is clean, but Roman, the man who started it all, who led you to your Champions Leagues, all those Premier Leagues, all those cups, FA Cups, Carabao Cups, Europa Leagues, all of that can go bye-bye. Not bye-bye necessarily, it could just be tainted. Man, I love it. I love the fact that Chelsea fans are I don't even know if they are, because they're still all in denial, like Bart. They still think you have such a great team, but yet, how do you not see what we see? Like, your team is like full of a bunch of like potential that isn't guaranteed, and it's constantly changing. The chemistry is just weird. It's been whack. You completely neglect defense over and over and over again. Maybe because you think that Reece James is actually a viable option, even though he misses most seasons every year. You lost your best center back, and yet you thought the best way to replace him was with Garnacho. You missed out on Javi Simmons, by the way. And that seemed like a big mistake now because Cole Palmer can't stay fit. Wake up to smell the coffee, Chelsea. You're not who you think you are, you frauds. Your whole existence is fraudulent. But I've got good news. I put you on the under pressure list. I'm giving you the opportunity now to use the magic of the list and get yourself back on track, because you're going to need it. You are the opposite, the exact opposite of Arsenal so far. Arsenal had the second toughest schedule on paper and have 10 points. You have had the second easiest schedule on paper and have 8 points. And you lost at Old Trafford. Guys, can't you see what we're talking about? All right, you can live in your oh, we win trophies. You won a Conference League and a Club World Cup. Yip-de-doo. Now that you're in the big boy competition. By the way, Bayern, you guys all thought you were going to rock up to the Allianz and win 3-0, your fans? Come on. Mates. Okay, you can look good in preseason games all you want. You do it every year, and everyone goes, oh, look how scary this Chelsea team is. They're starting to put it together. No, they ain't. Now, I will say, there's improvement. You're better than you were a couple years ago. But let's see. Let's see, because if you don't, I got news for you as well. Like, I had news for Isaac, and I had news for Arteta. I've got news for you, Chelsea. You don't beat Brighton at home this week, you could be. This thing is getting really tough because you've had it all your way schedule-wise. And what, we got till 19 games, so like from match week 7 to 19, you're going to play all the big boys. All of them. All of them. The only side, actually no, besides Man United, and again, say what you will, you're going to play the 5 best teams in the land, the 7 best teams in the land. I wouldn't include, like, you know, I know what you want to say about Villa. I would include Bournemouth, actually. I would replace Villa with Bournemouth. You can say you can have Bournemouth still to come. You're going to have Newcastle still to come, as well as, you know, the other big ones, the other big 4, whatever it is. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, guys. The other big 5. Sorry. Let's see what it is. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about my under pressure list this week. I know. Mikel, get it together, bruv. Isak, look world class. Like, come on. They're paying £130 million to get you on their squad. You have to repay that for them. You're not even the most prolific striker in Liverpool. Like, they keep going. Anyway, and Chelsea. Your dreams, your delusions are shattered. Now you're in the real world. Time to wear your big boy pants and get to work. Anyway, guys, thank you very much again. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing. We'll be back next week for another Under Pressure list. We'll be back later today with Upset Alert. And as well, guys, by the way, go check out the podcast that I do with Cal. Check out Fire Them Cannons Arsenal podcast. We had our first ever Thunderdome earlier this morning. And boy, was that a fun video to record. So enjoy that. So I will leave the link for that in the description here as well. And until next time, Anton out.